As the weeks following the Open continue to unfold, every move made by PGA Tour leadership is likely to be analyzed more closely than ever before. That isn't necessarily because fans expect immediate miracles, but because the sport has reached a point where every major decision carries long-term consequences. Brian Rolapp enters this role with a reputation for innovation and media strategy, and many people inside and outside the golf world are eager to see whether those strengths can translate into meaningful progress for the tour. However, leadership in professional golf is about far more than negotiating television rights or growing commercial partnerships. It also requires earning the confidence of players whose careers, reputations, and futures are directly connected to the decisions being made in boardrooms. That trust cannot be built overnight. It develops through consistent communication, transparency, and a willingness to address concerns before they become larger problems. Many players have publicly emphasized these priorities over the past several seasons, making it clear that they want to feel involved in conversations about the future direction of the tour, rather than simply being informed after major decisions have already been finalized. Another challenge involves maintaining competitive balance while preserving the prestige of the biggest events. The PGA Tour has introduced several changes in recent years designed to strengthen its schedule and ensure that the game's top stars compete against each other more frequently. While many fans appreciate seeing stronger fields at marquee tournaments, others have questioned whether these adjustments unintentionally make it more difficult for younger players or lesser-known professionals to earn opportunities. Creating a system that rewards excellence while still providing pathways for emerging talent has always been one of the defining characteristics of professional golf. Preserving that balance will likely remain one of the tour's most important responsibilities moving forward, especially as new generations of players continue arriving with extraordinary skill and global appeal. At the same time, the relationship between the PGA Tour and international golf remains an important topic. Today's leading professionals often compete around the world, representing different countries and participating in events across multiple tours. Maintaining positive relationships with international organizations while strengthening the PGA Tour's own position requires careful diplomacy. Fans ultimately want to watch the strongest possible fields, regardless of where tournaments are played, and many observers believe greater cooperation across professional golf could benefit everyone involved. Although reaching that kind of alignment is far from simple, the conversation continues to evolve, and many believe collaboration will eventually play a larger role in shaping the sport's future. Technology also presents enormous opportunities. From advanced swing analytics to enhanced broadcasts, digital platforms, and fan engagement tools, the way people experience golf continues changing rapidly. Younger audiences increasingly consume highlights through social media, mobile devices, and streaming services rather than traditional television alone. Adapting to those viewing habits without losing the traditions that make golf unique represents another balancing act facing tour leadership. If Rolapp can successfully combine innovation with respect for the game's history, he may be able to attract entirely new audiences while keeping longtime fans fully invested. Accomplishing that would strengthen not only the commercial future of the PGA Tour, but also the long-term popularity of professional golf as a whole. Of course, one subject that continues appearing in nearly every discussion is unity. For several years, headlines have focused on disagreements, rival tours, negotiations, and uncertainty. Many fans have grown tired of hearing more about business than birdies. They simply want to see the world's best golfers competing against each other on the biggest stages. While complex business negotiations often happen behind closed doors, the public ultimately judges success by what happens inside the ropes. If professional golf can once again shift attention toward unforgettable performances, dramatic finishes, and compelling rivalries rather than organizational conflict, many believe the sport will emerge stronger than ever before. That is why patience may prove just as important as ambition. Expectations surrounding new leadership are naturally high, but meaningful institutional change rarely happens overnight. Building consensus among players, sponsors, tournament organizers, broadcasters, and commercial partners takes time. Every stakeholder has different priorities, different responsibilities, and different visions for where the game should go next. Successful leadership often depends on finding common ground instead of pursuing quick victories that fail to address deeper challenges. The months ahead will likely reveal far more about the direction of the PGA Tour than any single announcement or headline ever could. For fans, this period offers both uncertainty and excitement. Uncertainty because so many important questions remain unanswered, and excitement because professional golf continues showcasing remarkable talent every single week. Established champions continue raising the standard, rising stars keep proving they belong among the game's elite, and every tournament creates new storylines capable of reshaping the competitive landscape. Regardless of administrative discussions taking place away from the course, the players themselves remain the heart of the sport. Their performances are what inspire fans, attract new audiences, and preserve golf's rich tradition across generations. Ultimately, whether Brian Rolapp's tenure is remembered as a turning point will depend less on headlines and more on results. Can he strengthen relationships with players? Can he help create greater stability across professional golf? Can he modernize the business without sacrificing the traditions that fans cherish? These are the questions that will define his leadership over the coming years. While speculation will always exist whenever a major leadership change occurs, the answers will come through actions rather than rumors. Decisions about scheduling, player engagement, commercial strategy, and the fan experience will gradually reveal the direction the PGA Tour intends to follow. For now, one fact is undeniable. Professional golf stands at one of the most fascinating crossroads in its modern history. Every tournament, every announcement, and every leadership decision contributes another chapter to a story that continues evolving before our eyes. Although online speculation often creates dramatic narratives, the real transformation of the sport will be measured by thoughtful leadership, competitive excellence, and the ability to bring the golf world closer together. If those goals can be achieved, this period may eventually be remembered not as an era of division, but as the beginning of a stronger and more unified future for the PGA Tour. Until then, fans around the world will continue watching closely, waiting to see how the next chapter unfolds, because in today's game, the biggest stories are often written not only by the players holding the trophies, but also by the leaders making the decisions that shape the future of professional golf.
Have you ever wondered what happens behind closed doors after one of golf's biggest championships ends? While fans celebrate unforgettable shots, dramatic finishes, and emotional victories, the real conversations often begin only after the final putt drops. This year, the spotlight has shifted away from the leaderboard and toward the future of the PGA Tour itself. With Brian Rolapp stepping into one of the most challenging leadership roles in professional sports, expectations have never been higher. Players, sponsors, fans, and television partners are all waiting to see whether fresh leadership can finally bring stability to a sport that has spent the last several years navigating uncertainty, division, and constant headlines. Adding even more intrigue, golf insiders, commentators, and fans have been speculating about whether some of the tour's biggest stars are beginning to push for faster change behind the scenes. While there has been no official confirmation that any coordinated ultimatum or formal demand has been made by players, the growing conversation reflects just how important the coming months could be for the future of professional golf. Today, we're taking a closer look at why the pressure surrounding Brian Rolapp continues to grow after the Open, what issues players have openly discussed in recent months, and why the next decisions made by tour leadership could shape professional golf for years to come. To understand why expectations are so high, it's important to remember the position Brian Rolapp is stepping into. Taking charge of the PGA Tour is not like inheriting a stable organization operating without controversy. Instead, it means entering a landscape that has experienced some of the biggest changes in golf history. The emergence of LIV Golf completely altered the competitive environment, forcing the PGA Tour to rethink everything from prize money and scheduling to player relationships and long-term strategy. Fans have watched elite players move between tours, negotiations dominate headlines, and uncertainties surround nearly every major announcement. Because of that, many believe Rolapp faces one of the most difficult executive challenges in modern sports, where every decision will be examined by players, media members, sponsors, and millions of golf fans around the world. One of the biggest questions revolves around communication. Throughout the past few seasons, numerous PGA Tour players have publicly expressed the desire for stronger communication between leadership and competitors. Some have praised recent efforts, while others have suggested that players deserve greater transparency regarding major decisions affecting the future of the tour. These comments have not been limited to one player or one generation. Veterans, rising stars, and player directors have all acknowledged that communication remains one of the most important issues moving forward. Although opinions differ on exactly how the tour should operate, there appears to be broad agreement that trust between players and leadership will be critical if professional golf hopes to move beyond years of uncertainty. Another major topic involves scheduling. Today's top golfers compete across multiple continents while balancing major championships, signature events, international tournaments, family commitments, sponsorship obligations, and increasingly demanding travel schedules.